So if you were to read about the state of the organized Jewish community, you could start to despair a little bit. Many synagogues, even in the metro New York area, are shrinking in size, merging with other synagogues to stay afloat, or closing altogether. And if you look at the role of Judaism in millennials, this whole age group from, 20 to 40, they're not affiliating at an alarming rate. And I don't just mean they're not affiliating in synagogues, they're not even identifying themselves necessarily as Jews. So in the face of this, I think that the state of Central Synagogue today is even more astounding. As you've heard, a Friday night service that regularly fills our sanctuary, a wait list that topped 700 families this year, a virtual audience from live stream and cable that numbers in the hundreds of thousands over the course of the year. And regarding our next generation, as you heard, a nursery school that's beyond capacity, an LCLJ enrollment that's going to be over 700 kids, and we had the biggest confirmation class in 2 decades. So people sometimes ask, so what are you doing over there? What's the special sauce? How are you growing in this environment? And I can answer, it's about our diverse, inclusive, incredible membership. Or I could say it's the extraordinary and dedicated staff team. All of that is true, but I don't think it's the whole story. In actuality, I think the secret to our success is not particularly innovative or sexy. We have invested in the basics. We asked ourselves, what is the fundamental purpose of a synagogue? And our answer has not changed since their very beginning 2,000 years ago. As the Talmud says, a synagogue is to be a beit tefillah, a house of prayer, a beit knesset, a house of gathering, and a beit midrash, a house of learning. 3 fundamentals: worship, caring for our community, and learning. These are the primary reasons for our being and our highest and best purpose. Central has thrived because we put our resources and our time and our staff behind these 3 main priorities. So I want to tell you a little bit about how we invest in each of these. Some of them you might know. So worship. If you haven't already been to a Friday night, and I'm looking around and all of you have, I would encourage you to go. It is truly representative of the soul of our community. And while we are proud of our worship services, we never get complacent. We recognize that good worship has to be dynamic. So you should know that among the many things we do, every single month we work with a worship specialist under Cantor Dan Mutlu's expert direction to think hard about prayer, to create new rituals, to be self-reflective. This work has been invaluable in helping us shape our worship. And this year we began workshopping our weekly sermons with the clergy team on Tuesdays to help raise new ideas and crowdsource good texts. And we do this on a deeper level over the summer for our high holiday sermons. And I hope you've noticed it's resulted in stronger preaching on the pulpit. This year, we introduced a new Saturday morning service called the Mishkan, primarily led by Rabbi Nicole Auerbach and our cantorial intern, Shani Ben-Or. We felt that if worship is truly key and primary for us, that we were ready for a more intimate, participatory, contemplative worship experience on Shabbat. The service is a jewel and has a core of very devoted congregants, and we hope it's going to grow. And so we've invested in it even more by making it a weekly experience next year. I hope you'll come and check out the Mishkan. So those are just a few of the ways that we continue to invest in what worship is. Secondly, caring for the community. If worship represents the soul of our congregation, then I would say that pastoral care and caring for this community is at the heart of who we are. We are only going to be as good as we care for our congregation. So I recently did a funeral for someone's father, and when her mother had died more than 20 years ago, she only let us know now that her family had slipped through the cracks. We not only didn't officiate for them, we didn't even call them back. I'm amazed that she did not leave Central Synagogue. Under Rabbi Mosal's direction, we have created different systems about how we do pastoral care, checks and balances, baseline ways that we make sure to follow up, and I hope that that would never happen again. Often pastoral care can be reactive. We rely on people telling us that they have a need, but some people don't feel comfortable or don't feel like they have enough of a connection to even let us know. So we've tried a few initiatives to try to be even more proactive about this, including a new caring committee that did just that. This group One of the things they did is they called every single congregant over the age of 70 who did not come to high holiday services. And we asked them, why did you not come? And we learned that some of them were homebound. Some of them did not have a way to come. And we have now created a system for some home visits for those congregants. If you yourself or know someone who is in need of that, we would love to make that part of our work. In addition, Rabbi Marion Lev Cohen and our former president, he doesn't like to be called past president, Howard Sharfstein, have overseen the What Matters initiative, where we help families navigate meaningful conversations around death and their values around dying. And their conversations have already helped so many families navigate these challenging questions before the crisis arrives. Rabbi Colin has helped us continue thinking about caring for some of the most vulnerable who are outside our community as well. And her central organizing leadership team has helped educate our community this year on important issues of criminal justice, bail reform, and immigration. Life cycles, both the joyous and the challenging, are some of the most meaningful moments we have the privilege to share with this community. And it's been gratifying to see how not only the clergy see this as their sacred responsibility, but more and more, many congregants are stepping forward to share in this crucial work. So the third core of our work is learning, both for our children and our adults. And in the LCLJ, we're in the second year of project-based learning, which has proven to be an incredible methodology for building investment and enthusiasm for Jewish learning and building Jewish identity. And you heard already about the Machzor project, which you will see debuted, but it was a thing of beauty. Rabbi Rosenthal had the brilliant idea of, let's put this incredible Machzor in the hands of our 5th and 6th graders. And the language that has come out is truly theirs, and they've dug in deep, and it will change the experience for our families for high holidays. And you cannot believe how proud they feel of the work they've done. There's been such a happy buzz around the LCLJ this year, and with our kids and with our parents, and this is why the school has been growing. Rabbi Arbach, in partnership with Rabbi Lorge this year, continued really growing adult engagement with great speaker series, Melton classes, weekly Bible, poetry study, and an exploration in particular around having hard conversations across lines of difference, especially around Israel, resilient listening. So we are grateful for her leadership in that. And under the leadership of Cantor Julia Cadrain, we had a most amazing adult B'nai Mitzvah class, and we watched as they were expertly prepared to read Torah for the first time. So this is only a small snapshot of the many ways we've continued to put our time, our resources, our energy in making the very basic elements of synagogue life, worship, community, and learning, anything but basic. Our goal has always been excellence and meaningful engagement. Dare I say, our goal is to change people's lives. Our goal has never been, let's grow membership. But that has become a byproduct of our success, and we have been inundated with the interest in joining Central. So this is a high-class problem, but it is still a problem nonetheless, and a thoughtful group of lay leaders headed by Jeffrey Goldstein is tackling some of the issues around membership. We recently decided that we could move our membership cap up by 200 families over the next 2 years without sacrificing the experience of our community. We really felt that the urgency of the need and our ability to serve compelled us to grow thoughtfully and intentionally. But I promise you, we will continue to ask ourselves, how do we make sure we do not lose the special sauce that makes Central thrive? The way that this large synagogue can have a feeling of a little shtiebel. I want to share a few things that we have thought about that enable us to scale and grow, and also at the same time to feel smaller. One is that we are transitioning the clergy team model to one of longer-term pulpit team, which means that members beyond the senior rabbi and senior cantor, we would love to have longer tenures at Central Synagogue. And this ensures we have a team of clergy who really knows our congregation, who can lead life cycle events in pastoral care from authentic relationships that are built over the many, many years. Secondly, we have continued to invest and grow the core groups, which you've already heard about, small groups, which have at least 30 small groups now with hundreds of congregants, but with a plan to grow so that ultimately at some point, every person in this congregation would be part of a small group within the larger whole. And probably the least flashy but most important is investing in an overhaul of our CRM system, which is a database system. We're using Salesforce, which would enable us to make much more personalized touch points, to share information amongst our staff, to use data to make much smarter decisions for this congregation. That is in place already. I mean, that is in process already. It'll take 18 months. Much of this work has been spearheaded by our incredible executive director, Marcia Caban. She has been a true partner in all of the big picture strategic work of this congregation, and I feel so blessed to work with her. So I cannot end my remarks without saying a few words about our unbelievable outgoing president, Abby Pogrebin. Abby has truly elevated our congregation in her tenure over the last 3 years. Everything she touches, whether it's editing a rabbi's sermon, or looking at a strategic plan, or communication to our congregation, is always better because of Abby's touch. She holds us to the highest standards with her candor and her brilliance. And her stature as a Jewish writer, a Jewish thinker, a moderator extraordinaire, has helped elevate Central's reputation in the larger Jewish world as well. She's been so unbelievably devoted to our staff team, and she's also deeply cared for all of you, our congregation. I cannot thank you enough for your service to this congregation and to the Jewish people. I know that Jeremy Fielding, our incoming president, has been a tremendous help to you in your presidency, and you will be invaluable in his transition as well. We are so blessed to go from strength to strength. Finally, I just want to end with my gratitude. It is such a tremendous honor to serve this congregation. I cannot imagine a more spectacular team of people that I get to work with, and a more interesting, thoughtful, passionate, and supportive community to make my spiritual home. Thank you for an amazing 4th year as your rabbi.